The latest one at the moment is people are going on about that Bostin Loyd. I've seen a lot of posts about him now. Someone just put up a video, I didn't watch it, but he's giving like some advice on how to get big and telling young kids what to take and the amounts to take, and how he said it's just 10% genetics, the rest is all drugs. And like I've said, if it's all drugs, the amount he's taken, he should have won every show out there. He should be professional by now and won the Mr. Olympia if it's just all drugs, but yet he looks like a fucking shit amateur. So it's more to it than drugs, Mr. Bostin Loyd. So.
And what sort of things is he telling young kids to take?
Oh, I can't even remember. There was one kid on there. There's actually a video. This young kid takes his shirt off and says to him, "Okay, now I'm all natural, Bostin." Now he takes his shirt off. Now looking at me, what would you recommend? And Bostin Loyd's standing there like he's looking at his physique, and he's like, "Well, looking at you, I say at least 1500 milligrams, 1500 of test a week, and some EQ and that. And then look here, put your arms up. Yeah, I'd shoot some more in the lats here, and then bring your lats out. And looking at your arms, I'd put a bit of synfold in your lower bicep there, and all this sort of shit he's telling this young kid to do." I'm like, what a fuckwit. And like I said, now he's a guy, sadly, people follow this Bostin Loyd, and that's why young kids are going to get into trouble, because listening to a fucking tool like that is just ridiculous. So I don't know how, but the newest video I didn't even click on and watch this morning, because being in my medicated state, God knows what I could have wrote if I had watched it. But it's the latest one that just popped up on Facebook today, where people are saying that Bostin Loyd's given bad advice, and everyone's just bagging on, saying how the advice he just gave then is totally ridiculous, where he's saying it's not about genetics, it's drugs, and he's given out a big drug cycle for people to follow. So I don't even know what it is, but
So is his cycle that he gave that young fella, is that a good way to ease into bodybuilding?
Oh, God, ridiculous. Even looking at the kid didn't look that good anyway. And but like I said, for when Bostin Loyd takes his shirt off, for the amount he's taken, he looks like shit. But yet he's saying it's all drugs. So if it is all drugs, why does he look like shit? You know, why isn't he pro by amount? The amount he's taken, he should be Mr. Olympia, but he's not. So it really goes against what he's saying. It's like he's saying it's all drugs, no genetics, and he's taken all the drugs, but yet he's done nothing. So it ain't all drugs. So
Probably you should take some more then.
maybe you should take fucking 10 milligrams of fucking air in a syringe. That might fucking help him right into the fucking vein.
But in all seriousness, it is dangerous advice.
It is, because that's the thing. He's got such. I don't know why people like him get these huge followings, because he's a fuckwit. And yet young kids follow him, going, "Oh, look what he says, we're going to do that." And sadly, young kids do follow what he says, and they're going to end up with all sorts of problems. So I don't know why they can't look at him and go, "Look, this guy's just a tool. Why even listen to what he says?" So I'm sure some people do just follow him because he's a fucking laugh. He's like a laughing stock of the bodybuilding world, but yet he has all his followers, and sadly some, maybe, out of, say, 1,000 people followed him, just say 1,000, there's probably more, but say 1,000 did, sadly maybe 100 or 200 of them are going to actually do what he says and end up fucked up. So you can't tell them.
Yeah, oh look, it's I think people like him.
And looking at him too, it's like, that's what I don't get. When he's actually sitting there saying it's all drugs, and he tells you what he's taken, and then when you look at his body, you'll be like, he looks like shit. So why would it, if it's all drugs, and who's going to take that amount to look like that, If I wanted to look like that, I'd rather just eat a turd. I could go eat a turd and actually look like shit. I could actually eat shit and look like shit, because that's what he looks like, shit.
Yeah, look, and I think one reason why he gets a big following is because people think that he's the only one telling the truth. And I guess that must be...
That's the funny thing about that, because here he is, he's actually telling the truth what he takes and those huge amounts, and then the young kids follow him, and then somebody like me will actually come on and tell the truth about the small amounts I've taken, but yet they'll look at me and go, "Well, you're a top pro and you're saying these small amounts that I got you there, you're a fucking liar." Which is weird, because I've taken the small amounts, people who know me have seen the small amounts I've taken, I've become a top pro, had a great physique. Here you got a dickhead who takes these fucking astronomical amounts, done nothing and looks like shit, so which one are you going to believe? So
I think it's sometimes a case of what people want to hear, like a guy that's taken small doses and not winning the local show.
That's the thing though, because if he's saying he takes these large amounts, and like I said, you've seen the large amounts he says he takes, if you look like Ronnie Coleman, then you could be like, oh, okay then, a lot of drugs work. But when you're taking that amount, and you look like a fucking drag queen girl with a little bit of muscle, it's pathetic. It's like what's he done? He looks terrible. So, if someone said to me, this is what I'm taking, if you take what I take, you look like this, I'd rather go fucking put a revolver in my mouth and pull the trigger. Fucking hell. Shit. Like I said, who wants to look like that? Yeah, put an IV of air in yourself and blow in it.
And I'd just like to say, if Boston's watching, Lee is medicated, so...
yeah, I am medicated, but still put an IV in your arm and fucking blow in it.
So he's not well, he might be a bit toned down.
Yeah, the medication's keeping me
yeah
level at the moment.
But yeah. But yeah, for the young kids, you know, just don't listen to someone who...
Like Bostin Loyd.
Yeah, like, you know, choose carefully and keep it
As
safe.
I'm sitting here talking about Bostin Loyd, look what I'm looking at. It sort of reminds me of him.
Yeah, Francis's office.
That's like Bostin Loyd right in there, full of shit. That's all he is, a toilet. A fucking shit full of toilet talking shit. So, young kids, if you listen to him, don't. Listen to him for comical value, that's it. Never follow his advice because you're only going to get into trouble.
Yeah, not just trouble, but serious health issues.
Exactly. That's why I can't believe that he posts his stuff up and kids follow it. So, sadly, like I said, some know he's just an idiot and don't follow it, but there are the ones that do follow it. But like I said, just look at him, look at the amounts he's taken, and for all the amounts he's taken, and he looks like that, it ain't working. So, for him to say it's genetics, it's not genetics, it's just drugs. Well, fuck, he missed a genetic train a long time ago. So,
yeah.
When that genetic train pulled into the station, that cunt was at the airport. So, fuck, he missed the ship. Well, his genetic ship was the Titanic. It sunk.